Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about family size and whether we will be adding any more tiny little people to our family. It's funny, when I had Dylan, almost like, maybe not almost as soon as he was born, but not very long after he was born, people did start talking about when I'd have a second one, and the second was always going to be on the cards for us. I didn't ever really want to just have one child, so we have got a 19-month gap between Dylan and Everly, and I would say that while some people, mainly people from older generations, were a little bit surprised when I announced I was pregnant because it was literally just after Dylan had turned 1. I don't think most people were surprised to hear that we were adding to our family, and most people were really pleased for us. But funnily enough, after Everly was born, nobody asked me anymore whether we'd be adding to our family. So we went from being newlyweds, where people ask you all the time whether you're going to have any children, to having one child where people would ask all the time whether we were going to have a second, to having a second and then everybody just assuming we were done. I think that whole stereotype of the 2.4 children is alive and well, and I think especially because we'd had one boy and one girl, people I think just assumed we were done. But Rich and I had always said that we would like to have 3. I had always had this dream of a big family, and I actually always used to say that I wanted 4 children, but Rich said that he didn't really want 4, he wanted 2. So 3 was kind of always our compromise number, I guess. So when we announced we were pregnant the 3rd time, I think a lot of people seem to be quite shocked, because I feel like it's changing a little bit now, but in the circles that I was in at that time, most people had 2 children and were done at 2 children. So there was kind of like a human interest thing in that 3rd baby, like, are you insane? You're going to be outnumbered by children, why would you do that? Funnily enough, once you've had your 3rd baby, I've gone back to being asked all the time if we're going to have any more. I think because once you get to the point where you've got 3, they assume that you're one of these crazy people that wants this massive brood of people in your family, and I get asked regularly whether we'll have any more. Truth be told, I think I have turned into one of those people that wants a whole massive brood of people in their family, because almost as soon as we had Quinny, I started wanting another one. Like, I would possibly even say while I was still in hospital that day, I was thinking, I just can't imagine this being the last time. It just didn't feel like it. And she's obviously a year old now, and I would say, if anything, that desire for a 4th one has got bigger. For a time, it did cause quite a lot of arguments in this house, because Rich and I obviously compromised on 3, and he doesn't really want to, well, for a long time he completely stuck his heels in, was categorically, no, we are not having another one. And it's really hard to explain, because he's not like a massively kind of like emotional, feelingsy kind of person, and I am, and it was really hard for me to get across to him that I just have this feeling in my gut that I'm supposed to have another one. We haven't really got anywhere with this particular argument. We go round and round in circles about it. I don't know. I kind of hope that at some point the answer is going to present itself to us, and we will move forward with that. I think if we get to a point and we haven't had a 4th, and I feel like the gap is going to be massive to a 4th one, I'll probably take it off the table. I also feel a little bit like at the moment, like, I might still be able to convince Rich that a 4th one would be a nice idea. Now, I know that there will be people watching this going, is she mad? Like, 4 children is a lot of children. But there are times already I find with 3, I love having 3, love it to pieces. I haven't found it particularly difficult to go from 2 to 3. I don't find it particularly difficult being outnumbered. In fact, in a lot of ways, I feel like 4 might be slightly easier than 3. Now, bear with me here because I know that sounds crazy. But there are times already, I mean, we're obviously a year into this journey with 3, but there are times when I find that somebody always seems a little bit left out. There are times when we go out for the day and I feel a little bit like Dylan and Everly do stuff together and Ashlyn's kind of stuck with us. And at the moment that's fine because she's the baby, but I kind of think in another year's time, she's going to want to join in with them and they're either going to leave her out or one of them's going to take her and then the other one's going to be left out. I just feel like 3 could be quite a tricky dynamic. In a lot of practical ways, I kind of feel like 4, while it might not be easier, wouldn't be any harder. But I kind of like the idea that they'll be able to sort of buddy up a little bit. And I know that this does just all sound a bit silly, but this is like the crazy thoughts that go around in my head. And honestly, I think about this a lot. I also feel like you'd never regret having a child once they were here. I just can't. You'd never regret having them, but I do feel like I would regret not having one. So yeah, that's my thoughts on a 4th baby and whether we will have one. I'd love to know what you think about it all. And if you've got a 4th baby and you found it not that hard, can you leave a comment so that I can show them to him? Thanks for watching. Bye.